So we all know that Aidan O'Connell, formerly number 4 on the Raiders, was given the opportunity to switch his number to 12. 12 is an iconic number in the silver and black, with Ken Stabler, the Snake, the original number 12, as well as Rich Gannon also wore the number 12. But did he change his number to 12 because he idolizes Ken Stabler? No, as he revealed in the Rush podcast with Maxx Crosby that he idolizes and models his game after one Tom Brady, a guy who's trying to buy a piece of the Raiders as we speak. But what is this video about? Is this video about Aidan O'Connell trying to be number 12? Well, yeah, it actually is. In fact, we're going to compare Tom Brady, his first, we'll call it a rookie year, even though it was his second year in the league, because in his first year, he didn't really play at all. I think he got like 1 or 2 snaps. So we're going to model this after his 2001 real starting opportunity with the Patriots under Bill Belichick. And we're going to compare, just like we did AOC against Peyton Manning's rookie year, how these two players matched up. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go to games played. Tom Brady played 15 games in 2001. Aidan O'Connell last year played in a total of 11 games. Let's take a look at their completions and their attempts. Tom Brady in 2001 attempted 413 passes and completed 264. And that gave him a completion rating percentage of 63.9. Now, when you look at Aidan O'Connell, in fewer games, he attempted 343 passes and he completed 213, which gave him a 62.1% completion, not too far behind the Hall of Famer Tom Brady. Well, will be Hall of Famer. Now, let's look at yards thrown. Again, Aidan O'Connell played 4 less games and he came in mid-season after the season had already begun. He was not a full-time starter. He did not get all of the first team reps. Aidan O'Connell threw for 2,218 yards last year in his rookie debut. With all of the tumult of what was going on with McDaniels and Tom Brady, who had no tumultuous situation going on whatsoever with him and the Patriots, he threw for 2,843 yards. So again, slightly edging out our rookie phenom in Aidan O'Connell. And yes, I called him a phenom. And for all of you fake Raiders fans who want to hate in the comments because you're really secretly Chiefs fans or Bolts fans, go cheer for those teams. I'm rooting on our quarterback. Now, taking that, the fact that Aidan O'Connell threw for little over 500 yards less, that's fine. He played in 4 less games. If he would have played in the same amount of games, I predicted that Aidan O'Connell would have thrown for somewhere around 2,800 to 3,000 yards last season if he'd have played the entire season. And even if he'd have just played 15 games, he would have been around 2,800 yards or so. And if he'd have played all 17 games, well, then we know that he would have thrown for a lot more. He would have probably been around 3,200 yards. Now, yards average, Aidan O'Connell in edging with 6.5 yards per pass. Cool. He's not far behind Tom Brady, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, unfortunately. Let's look at touchdowns. Tom Brady had 18 touchdowns in 15 appearances in his true rookie year. Aidan O'Connell had 12 touchdowns. So 5 touchdowns less. Again, if he'd have played 4 more games, I think that Aidan O'Connell would have ended up somewhere around 20 touchdowns in his rookie debut. If he'd have played the entire season, I think he would have ended up somewhere around 26 touchdowns on the year. Interceptions. Tom Brady threw for 12 interceptions in 15 games, and Aidan O'Connell threw for 7. Remember, in Aidan O'Connell's last 4 appearances of last season, he threw 0 interceptions and 8 touchdowns. So he was really starting to pick it up and catch fire at the end of the season, which is why I have high hopes for him moving forward in 2024. So again, if he would have played 5 more games with the way that he was progressing, he may have thrown 1 or 2 more interceptions in those 4 games, which would have left him, say, 9 interceptions and 20 touchdowns. Pretty good numbers for a rookie on a team with an interim head coach, quarterbacks coach getting elevated to offensive coordinator, a position he had never done, and still be able to play like that and really not near as many weapons as we have now. Remember, the last several games, Michael Mayer wasn't even available for him, nor was Josh Jacobs. So he was down 2 of the stars on the team, and it was really down to Trey Tucker, a rookie, and then Jacoby Myers, beast, and then Davante Adams, right, who was double covered almost the entire season last year. And so he was still able to do what he was able to do. Imagine what he's going to do with a Brock Bowers, a healthy Michael Mayer, Trey Tucker in his year 2. We got Michael Gallup. We've got a whole bunch more depth. Wilkins, right? There's so much more to this team this year than there was last year. And we have stability and we have leadership in Coach Antonio Pierce. Again, this is why I'm very high on this kid, Aidan O'Connell, having a fantastic season this year. He's very smart and very good. Now, the long goes to Tom Brady. He threw a pass that got 91 yards. I don't know if it, maybe he threw a 30-yard pass and the guy just took off and scored a touchdown, so he got credit for 91 yards. But hey, people who are saying that Aidan O'Connell doesn't have a strong arm, please go back and look at the passes to both Davante Adams and Trey Tucker.
Starting field position for the Raiders at the 40-yard line, and O'Connell wants to take a deep shot. And he's got Trey Tucker out there, Tucker diving, and he makes the catch.
Where he's chucking the ball 40, 50 yards down the field for those long passes and dropping dimes. So please stop telling me that Aidan O'Connell does not have a strong arm, because you don't know what you're talking about. When you say that, you sound very unintelligent. Sacks. Now, this is a big one because everybody is down on Aidan O'Connell, saying he's a statue back there and he gets sacked too many times. How many times did Tom Brady get sacked in his first Super Bowl winning season with the Patriots in 2001? How many times? 41 times in 15 games, Tom Brady got put in the dirt. With 11 games under his belt, Aidan O'Connell only got sacked 24 times. Remember, 7 of those sacks came in his first outing, where Josh McDaniels totally set him up, and our offensive line let that kid down, and he got sacked 7 times in one game. So if you take the outlier out of his record and we just go with the 10 games after that game, I mean, he only got sacked 17 times. That is very good. It sounds like a lot. But how many times did Patrick Mahomes get sacked last year? A lot more than 17, and he's supposed to be a mobile quarterback. How many times does Kyler Murray get sacked? How many times does Lamar Jackson get sacked? They all get sacked over 20 times a year. So keeping that number lower for him means that he's right on par with all the other superstar quarterbacks in the NFL when it comes to getting sacked. He is not anywhere near as people are trying to make him out to be. They just remember that first game against the Chargers where he got sacked 7 times, and that was just like PTSD for everybody's brains, and they cannot get that number out of their head. The rest of the season, he was on par with every other superstar quarterback in the NFL and every starter. The rating. This is where we really take a good look at it. Now, I'm not going to go with the QBR. I'm going to go with the old school RTG rating, because there is no QBR for Tom Brady in 2021, but his rating was 86.5. Now, I understand they switched over to QBR rating, which is different. It's supposed to be better for quarterbacks, whatever. We're going to stick with the RTG, and the RTG says that Aidan O'Connell is close behind at 83.9. Tom Brady, again, 86.5. AOC at 83.9. And again, if you take out that first game where he was set up by Josh McDaniels and told to throw the ball 39 times in his first outing as a rookie with a bad right side of the offensive line, he actually would have had a better rating. He probably would have been closer to that 86, 87 if you take that game out of his stats. Am I saying that Aidan O'Connell is going to be the next Tom Brady? He's going to be the next Peyton Manning? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is everybody that's saying that he is trash, he is garbage, please go and listen to what Coach Antonio Pierce has to say. Please go listen to what Davante Adams has to say, Jacoby Myers has to say, Trey Tucker. Go and listen to the people who actually know if this kid is good or not, and they're all telling you, Yes. Now, Davante Adams was diplomatic yesterday in all of his pressers that he did, saying that, when it comes to me, I don't have a bias. I just want a quarterback. When the bullets start flying, he's able to handle business. But if you ask me right now, Aidan O'Connell has the edge because he was here last year. He has familiarity with the team, with the players, with me. And so I would say he has that edge right now. That was a very diplomatic way of saying, you know what happens if Gardner Minshew does win that starting job? I don't want to put my starting quarterback Minshew in the dirt before he's even given the job. But I think you can tell he wants a guy who's going to chuck the rock to him. And that's going to be Aidan O'Connell, because already Gardner Minshew is getting praises somehow for going off script and off platform in OTAs and minicamp and not following the playbook. Okay, cool. Why is that good? Because Luke Getsy had a quarterback like that in Justin Fields in Chicago. And if you go back and you look, how many times did he go off platform and instead of throwing the ball to wide open wide receivers, he just tucks and runs with it? I'm pretty sure Luke Getsy doesn't want to deal with that again. And so if Coach Antonio Pierce is listening to his offensive coordinator, after camp and after preseason, who are we going to name as the starter? I'm pretty sure Luke Getsy is going to be like, yeah, I don't want to mess with a white Justin Fields. Not saying that Minshew is bad. I think he is a good quarterback. He's a great backup. I love having him on the team. And maybe he can shock me and surprise me, and I hope he does. But I honestly believe that Aidan O'Connell has what it takes to be a star quarterback in the NFL. This kid has come through so much adversity, coming up from the ranks, an 8th string quarterback at Purdue, to winning the starting job, winning a bunch of games with them, getting drafted into the NFL, and being able to do what he did amongst all of the craziness of the 2023 Raiders season. You gotta tip your hat to a kid like that. And I believe with the intelligence that he has, the grit that he has, the dedication, the responsibility, all the package that he has, and he's becoming more vocal as a leader, according to insider sources, some of which I have myself, as I have now developed some relationships with some players on the team. You can go and look at the videos and interviews with them, as well as people who are behind the scenes who are not players, who are telling me that Aidan O'Connell is the real deal. We'll see what happens in the regular season, but if I was a betting man, I would have to say Aidan O'Connell is going to be the starter, and he's going to do a heck of a job. Drop a comment down below and let me know, do you think Aidan O'Connell has what it takes, or are you Team Minshew, or do you think we're just going to tank and try and get a Shedeur Sanders or something next year? Let me know down in those comments.